this actually happened, and then I'm going to see what you guys would do in this scenario. So this is the applications. I'm just going to abbreviate in financial ethics. We have, Wells Fargo right now. We have a financial crisis. You will be confronted with ethical moral decisions, guaranteed. And you're going to have to make a decision what you're going to do. Okay. If you don't abide by the ethics, your own morality, you still might get fired. Okay. If you adhere to your own ethics, you still might get fired. So it really is up to you at the end what really happens. And everybody is implicated. It doesn't matter if you're entrepreneurship or social media or finance or accounting or marketing. I mean, you're all going to be confronted with this. Okay. So this is what happened. Okay. This was 2011. 2011, September 11th. When 9/11 happened. September 11th. 2001. 2001. You? All right. The firm I worked for was a $3 billion rate. Is that big? Okay. Can you please not speak while I'm doing this because I can really hear. It's a $3 billion rate. Is that a lot? Is that a big company? Yeah. We probably had about 500 employees. Headquartered in San Francisco. I was the director of research. We had never had a research director before. Conducting investment research, economic research, market research, capital market research. So I was calculating weighted average cost of capital and capital asset pricing model, figure out the expected return on the equity, the debt, and the blended cost of capital to use as a discount rate, which we'll go over today in this lecture. I was conducting market research on the markets, mostly metro areas, and I was tracking the apartment market, and I was making forecasts on where I thought that the markets were going to go based on the econometric equations that you learned in your pre-test. The economic research, interest rates, mortgage markets, employment. I was also doing demographic, psychographic, graphic research, age, income. I was also studying housing. Investment research, I was looking at the apartment, capital markets, some sales, volumes, I was looking at size of deals. I was also doing underwriting, which is what we're going to do tonight for investment research. So I underwrote with the investments in the acquisition and development department around $1 billion, just myself. I underwrote with the teams about $1 billion of the $3 billion that came into the company to analyze the company. I was also doing capital market research, looking at leverage. I reported directly to the president. I also had a reporting responsibility to the board of directors. And I worked cross-functionally across all the major divisions within the company. So accounting, finance, acquisitions, development, asset management, investor relations, slash marketing, and I have my own research vertical within the company. The first research vertical within a real estate investment trust. I started in 1996, and 9/11 hit 5 years later. So I've been with the company about 5 years. Okay. Then one morning, I woke up on September 11th, 2001, and knew that my life had changed because I was the in-house economist, right? And when two airplanes blow into two of the major financial center buildings in Manhattan, you know that the system is basically going to seize. Because the circular flow between the capital markets and financial institutions, between savers and investors, basically seize. And when they stop, it basically causes the economy to go into a recession, guaranteed. So I knew that. So I had to go to work in this environment, knowing that something environmentally had changed. And I produce on a quarterly basis, quarterly forecast report. And that report basically forecasts out 3 to 5 years what the market performance is going to be for the $3 billion portfolio, but also for the market performance for the individual metro areas by rent growth and revenue for the company. Is that a lot of responsibility?
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So before I left, before that Monday, I think it was on a Monday that this occurred, I was done with the report. Okay, I was done. The report was ready to go. I was all stoked to basically go to work, publish the report in color with a CD bounded, totally gorgeous, and mail them out to the individual board members along with senior management. Okay, getting ready to publish it. First question, did I send out the report? No. No. Can you send out the report knowing that something's totally changed? No. So, but senior management came into my office and said, we want our report. Where's the report? The report's not done, but you told us it was done when you left on Friday. No, I needed to go back and update some of the figures. No. You don't need to go back and update your figures. Publish the report the way it is and send it out to the board of directors. Yeah, but I'm not done yet. Give me a little bit more time. So every other day, they walk in my office and they go, where's our report? You said it was done. Why isn't it done yet? We need the report now. You need to send out the report to the board of directors. So, what did I do? So what was the decisions? What could I have done? Well, I could have quit, found another job, right? 2, I could have worked with senior management to go back and modify the forecasts. And then send it out to the board of directors. I could have published and send out original report, or I could have sent out the modified report. Modified forecast report without senior management input into the process. Okay, so what would you have done?
I would have done number 2.
Okay, what would you have done?
Number 2.
Okay,
2.
two,
2.
two,
2.
two. Now don't be seduced by groupthink. You have to think about for yourself.
1.
That's how you get in trouble too. You're going along with a lot of other people too. Because if the group makes a decision, then everybody gets fired and you go with them. Okay,
One.
one,
One.
one,
2.
two, 2,
1.
1,
2.
2,
One.
1,
1.
1. You guys got guts.
4.
4. Oh, and I'm not rich.
1.
1.
1.
Oh, you guys, I didn't get this in the other classes. They were a bunch of meanies.
4.
4,
Oh, me.
Yeah.
2.
2,
2.
2,
2.
2.
Probably have to go with 2.
All right. Which one do you think I did?
1.
1.
No, I did 4. I pushed them off, and then basically I redid the forecast. I went back 20 years. Do markets go in cycles?
Yes.
I had 91, 93, I had 80, basically 84, I had 75, 70, maybe like 74, 75, something like that. I was in 01, right? 01. So I had basically historical data, right? So, and I had data that had this, and had this. And I went back really 20 years to look at what had happened before in prior recessions. Because if I knew I was going into a recession, I could forecast a recession, and I had the data. So I could go back and I looked at it and I said, okay, I'm gonna go back over 2 recessions and I'm gonna forecast the 2001, and how long do recessions usually last?
4 years.
2 to 4 years. So let's just say 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, and wasn't that the peak? The last cycle before we went into 08, 09, 2011, 13, that stuff. So basically I had this, I could forecast this and I could forecast this. So I basically extended the forecast period so I could capture the recession and then the growth recovery phase from 3 years to 5 years. So I extended the time period. And I published the report, and I sent it out to the board of directors, and the CFO came into my office and he basically said, I cannot believe that you published this. You should be fired for this. And there was nothing really I could tell him, because these guys were pressuring me to basically send out a report to the board of directors that basically would have skewed the reality of the situation. And when they realized that we were going into a recession, and we did go into a recession, unfortunately they had to fire a lot of people, but they didn't want to hear it, right? They didn't want to hear it. But I felt I had a moral responsibility to publish the modified report. And do it that way. So they did keep me on until 2003. Right, so 2 years. They got rid of me after 2 years, 3 years. And the incoming president, there was a new president that came in. The old president, COO, and CFO, these guys quit. Okay? And then we got 2 new people that came in. The president came in, and she basically came back to me and said, well, before you leave, oh, and we're gonna offer you a consulting contract. We're gonna give you a consulting contract, and we'll pay you $2,000 a month, for as long as you continue on to do the work. So we'll give you a consulting contract. You're still not working for the company anymore, but why are you back as a consultant? Oh, and before you leave, we want you to do something. We want you to make a presentation in front of the board of directors before you leave, an exit lecture. And we want you to do what I want you to do, and this is what she said. She said, what I want you to do is I want you to graph out your original. Oh, I forgot to tell you too. The senior management, after I published this report, were so mad at me that they basically said, okay, you gotta go work with us, the president of the company, not the board of directors, but the president. You gotta work with me, and I will basically tell you what the forecast will be. So I basically have no say in the modified projections made by the president of the company, who knows nothing about real estate economics. Okay, smart guy, but he doesn't know. So basically, they made me go back and do an update to the forecast, and I had to send out a modified report to the board of directors. So just imagine how that made me feel. And then they laid me off like 3 years later. They gave me a consulting contract. So the new president of the company said, come back and show the board, do a formal presentation and show us your original forecast for all the markets. Show us the management modified forecasts. And I will also provide you, since I was the chief operating officer of the company before I took over as president, I will give you the actual. I will give you the actual data on the rents and the performance of the portfolio over the last 3 years. And when I looked at that, the graphs, right, I noticed, you put them next to each other, right, and you show the actuals against the forecast. You show the management modified. Actually, there was even in some markets where management told me to use positive revenue growth and rent growth. When I was forecasting negative rent growth, and the actual rent growth was even more negative than what I was forecasting. So I had to publish a report, their report, which was wrong. But she brought me back and allowed me to vindicate myself in front of the board of directors on my way out. So obviously, she respected, what I had brought to the table and knew that I was right, and basically showed that the senior level management was unethical, in their pressuring me to basically publish an erroneous report and present it to the board of directors. So you'll be asked to do that. Probably to do something like that, and then you have to decide, what you're going to do. You can quit. You can work with them, or you may have to do your own kind of whistleblower type of scenario where you have to go out on your own. There's nobody there to help you except for yourself, your own ethics, and then decide, if you made the right decision or not. I think I did. It might have cost me money. I probably wouldn't have been fired 2-3 years later. But again, I had my integrity and my credibility when I left. Okay, I'm still really good friends with, some of the people who work there. I'm still friends with the president of the company. We're still really good friends. I still know some of the board members, and, they speak very highly of me. I don't think I lost anything except for maybe some money, but I got a killer job after that, so. Are we out of time?
5 minutes.
Okay, any questions? Any questions? No? Okay, it was the worst experience of my life. It was totally horrible to be put in that position. But, you know, there was only one thing I could do, and that was the right thing in my view. So, I wish you luck on that stuff. And if you need, you know, usually you need some people to talk to. Does anybody want to take a picture of that? Just so that you can kind of see what your options are, and what level of responsibility and accountability you are gonna have. Because you're wielding, you know, millions of dollars. I was representing the shareholders too, and the other employees. Sometimes you have to make a decision beyond your own self-interest. And at the end of the day, really the shareholders that I was looking out for. And really putting the ethical burden back on the senior management and the board of directors where it should be. And they shouldn't maybe modify my report. And it propped up the stock price, and I don't know if they acted on the information on an inside basis. Because if you know you're going into a recession, what would you do? You know you're going into a recession, and you hold stock options in this company, what would you be doing? You'd probably be selling them all, or exercising the options, right? While the stock price is still dropped. Yeah, right. So I think I can do the next thing in an hour. If not, then I'll probably end up doing it